What's going on, people? Let me turn this music off. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see me. Welcome back to another live with Money Mo Media. We are back again with a lot of Team USA talk, with a lot of different things going on. Kawhi Leonard is out of the Olympics. Team USA is actually playing as I'm speaking right now. They're actually playing Canada in a little bit of a exhibition. Canada's playing pretty well. I said this on the Scriptwriter Show. You can follow us at the Scriptwriter Show on all platforms. I said the international gap for some of these teams is getting a little closer. And I know that Team USA is probably going to win gold. But Kevin Durant's out right now. Kawhi Leonard, which we will get into, withdrew from competition. So actually, let's get into that real quick before I go into this Team USA showcase. Kawhi Leonard is out of the Olympics. He withdrew. Now they say, this is what they say, okay? They say that Kawhi Leonard made the decision himself. I want to disagree with that. I don't think he made the decision himself. I think it was the Clippers and Steve Ballmer that made that decision for him. I don't think there's any way that Kawhi Leonard would have done that himself. He's mentioned on many different instances and many different occasions that, this is the guy that wants to go out there and play for Team USA. This is a guy that wants to go out there and be a part of something great with Team USA. And he's mentioned that. I know that Kawhi Leonard doesn't get excited a lot, but that was the sentiment that I seen from Kawhi Leonard. And it's just disappointing because, if we go through a lot of the things that Kawhi has had happen to him in the past few years. I mean, he had the ACL injury in 21, missed all of 22. 2023 gets to the playoffs, looks dominant, hurts his knee again with that meniscus injury, has a cleanup procedure, plays the most games that he's played since 2016, 2017. This season, he made All-NBA second team this season. He was an All-Star this season. And then obviously towards the end of the year, he gets that right knee inflammation, which everyone thinks, okay, that's fine. Everyone goes through knee inflammation. It's no big deal. He'll be back for the playoffs. The playoffs come. The knee's still not right. He doesn't look good. He looks rusty. And again, that's what happened. So, it's an unfortunate situation because, all the reports were that Kawhi Leonard turned a corner in the last 2 weeks. Now, what that signals to me, that's not really a good sign. Okay, let me just put that out there. 2 weeks ago, if he turned a corner just 2 weeks ago, that means that up until then, there was still concern, and there were still issues, and there was still, a lot of different things that were going on with that knee. So that's not really a good sign. Now, I get that he did turn a corner. I understand that. I understand that, he was healthy. He felt like he was healthy enough to play. That's great. But again, with Kawhi Leonard, you never know. You just never freaking know with Kawhi Leonard. So to have him come out of the Olympics this early, he didn't even get to play the game, the showcase that we're all watching right now, hopefully, because it's a really good game. He never even made it to that. So, you're looking at this situation, you're saying, okay, well, what does this mean? What does this mean for the Clippers? What does this mean for Kawhi? What does this mean for Team USA? Because there's a lot of reports about, hey, he looks great in the workouts. He had a good workout in front of Grant Hill and in front of a lot of the coaching staff for Team USA. Everything's good. We look good. We're ready to go. He comes to training camp. Obviously, everyone knows about the thing that was going around all of social media where he was using his suitcase as a crutch or whatever it was. He was using his suitcase basically as like a crutch. That's what people were making fun of. He had the right leg sleeve on, which was obviously that's a little bit concerning because it's been 3 months since he hurt that knee or since he played last on that knee. So again, I don't know what that means for his health going forward. Nobody really knows. And I don't think anybody will know anything about his health going forward until we get to probably training camp. I think this is the last we'll hear from Kawhi Leonard. But again, it is so unfortunate because he looked good in training camp. He looked good in some of these scrimmages by all reports. Now, listen, I wasn't there. I'm not going to say that it was perfect. But by all reports, it was that, hey, he looks pretty good right now. And, you could say what you want about how hurt he's been. This guy is still an elite player. He would have been an elite player for Team USA, even if he played 20 minutes, even if he played, not even that many minutes. I think he really would have made a difference on this Team USA team. But again, Kevin Durant's hurt already. And I know it's a minor calf strain, but he's hurt already, which is kind of crazy. I don't know why not a lot of people are talking about that. And it's a calf strain. We all know about Kevin Durant and calf strains. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to jinx it. But that's not a good sign. But in terms of this Kawhi thing, what it means for the Clippers, because as you all know, I love the Clippers. Go ahead, bash me as much as you want. But again, what does this mean for that team? Paul George is gone. You can't really lean on him anymore. James Harden's back. That's his co-star. But again, I don't know what this means going forward into the Intuit-Dome. I really don't. Does this mean that he won't be healthy for the start of training camp? Maybe. But if Kawhi Leonard is hurt already now, which I don't think he's hurt per se, I think he's just not 100% healthy yet. And there is a distinction because, if he was hurt, that would have meant structural damage or, he had surgery or something like that. Now, Skip Bayless did mention that he did have surgery or had a cleanup procedure, which, that can mean a lot of things. That can mean meniscus, that can mean arthroscopic, that can mean a lot of different things. So I don't know how to take that. But that's what Skip Bayless has said. And I keep bringing up Skip Bayless because Skip Bayless is pretty accurate with Kawhi Leonard. He has some type of sources in there somewhere. I don't know where it is. I don't know how he gets these sources, but he has them. He has sources somewhere within Kawhi Leonard's camp, and probably one of the only people that has been right about a lot of his injuries. I mean, he was the first to mention his ACL injury. He was the first to mention that he had a cleanup procedure last year, that he had a cleanup procedure this year, this offseason. So this is a new thing. If he did have an offseason procedure this year, fine. I think that's better. That means that he addressed it other than just saying, oh, well, it's inflammation and we'll have to deal with it. That's more concerning. I hope that there was some type of procedure. Honestly, at this point, he should go to Germany and get the Kobe knee treatment. He should go, it's funny, everyone on social media made fun of this. He went to Costa Rica recently, and in Costa Rica, he posted all these pictures for whatever reason. I don't know why he posted all this stuff. But people were speculating that he went to Costa Rica to get some type of special treatment on his knee. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. Maybe players do that. I don't have the inside track on that. But again, I don't know what this means for the Clippers moving forward because he is their guy. He's been their guy. He's said multiple times that he's been their guy. And, at this point, we're just going to have to see. We're going to have to wait and see because we're not going to get any more updates. But it's just so unfortunate because we could have really seen a lineup of Drew Holiday, Kawhi, and Edwards, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo. We could have seen some of the better defensive lineups America has ever seen with Kawhi in there, and we just won't get that now. And that's pretty unfortunate. But so Kawhi is out of the Olympics. He withdrew. There's really no updates about what type of thing caused this. Now, I think there's a rule. I believe there's a rule within Team USA or something like that where the team themselves can't pull you out. It has to be your decision. I could be wrong. I just read this somewhere, so maybe it is wrong. But it was that Kawhi Leonard couldn't have been taken out by the Clippers. Steve Ballmer couldn't have went in there and said, hey, you can't do this or you got to get out of there. It had to have come from him and his camp and the coaching staff. So that could be the case. Again, they usually don't follow the rules in that sense either. But yeah, so again, it's something to monitor for the Clippers going forward. There's not really much else I can say about it. There's one report that said that they didn't want him to be slower because of the speed that Team USA has, because of the types of sets that they're going to run, the types of players that they're going to have in there with Kawhi Leonard. It probably would have disrupted it. I get it. He's coming off of a knee injury. He's older. The game speed is a real thing. I understand that, sure. But again, we'll never know. We won't know until we hear from Kawhi Leonard in training camp, probably. We won't hear about what happened and how it happened. But on to this Team USA showcase. I don't know if I can show highlights on here because I don't want to get copyrighted. I really would rather not have that happen. But let me see if I can show you kind of what has happened so far. So Team Canada got off to a pretty good start. They actually went on an 11-1 run to start the game. So they looked really, really good. Obviously here you can see that at the end of the first half, Canada and Team USA, they went back to back to back to back. They went shot for shot. And, obviously Team USA with that younger lineup, they looked better with that younger lineup. Like that first lineup, I wonder if I can go all the way back to the beginning here. SGA was cooking them. RJ Barrett was. Dylan Brooks was getting feisty, as always. But the minute that Anthony Edwards got into the game, right? The minute that he got into the game, the vibe switched, and this is the lineup they went with, which I love this lineup right here. I hope everyone could see it. I'm not really monitoring it. I probably should. But they went with a lineup of Tyrese Haliburton, Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, Adebayo, and Anthony Davis. Now, that is very versatile. You can switch a lot with that lineup. And I honestly really like it. I think that's one of the better lineups that they can put out. And that lineup took over. They did. They got them back into the game. And if you compare, just compare this team to what Canada put out there. Right? Nembhard, Dort, Lyles, and Olynyk with Shea. And then you have some of the best players that basketball has right now on the other side on the bench. Now, the starting lineup was a little bit weird. It was Steph, Book, Holiday, LeBron, and Embiid. Now, I know that, Kawhi's out. I know that Kevin Durant's out. That's a small lineup. They play a little bit of small ball to begin. I wasn't really expecting Devin Booker to be in the starting lineup. I wasn't expecting Drew Holiday to be in the starting lineup. But again, I like it. I kind of like it. Versatile if they want to go small ball. Embiid looked terrible. He looked like he was foul baiting the whole time. So if he's going to keep trying to do that, he's not going to get any calls. He's not going to get any calls. And the reason is because the referees in FIBA, the referees in international play, don't do that foul baiting shit. So SGA's going to have a hard time. Embiid's going to have a hard time. Some of these guys that love to foul bait, they don't do that well in international play. They got to play real basketball. So again, I understand that he's a very talented player and all this stuff, but he's going to have to learn how to play actual basketball right now. And again, like I mentioned before, he's a very good player. SGA is a very good player, but these rules are different. These international rules are much different. And we saw that effect immediately. Right when Embiid started to get the ball, he tried to foul bait a few times. It didn't happen. And that's okay. Embiid's good enough to play through that. He's good enough to, not have to worry about that. But again, that's a part of his game. And that's kind of why he does some of these things sometimes. But for Team USA, I think that lineup that they started with, okay, it's fine. Like, it works. But I don't know if that's the lineup they go with from here on out. I don't. And is it going to be a lineup that they maybe tinker with? Is it going to be a lineup that they maybe look to switch? Of course. They're not going to keep that same starting lineup. So it's going to be a little bit, of a different type of scenario here where they can look at different lineups. Let me go back to that. So this is the lineup that they put out to begin. And this is the lineup that got them back into the game. Young legs, versatility, Adebayo and Davis together. Are you kidding me? And Anthony Edwards, again, I don't want to play this and get copyrighted, but he had one of the better finishes that we've seen already. He went up and under, finished at the rim. So he came out, Anthony Edwards, I think he was a story in the first quarter. He came off the bench, gave him insane energy off the bench, 6 quick points. Maybe that's the road they're going with here for Team USA. Maybe they're going with, hey, let's bring Ant off the bench and let's just have him be like a spark plug off the bench. Let's just do that and see where that goes. Because obviously it's working pretty well so far. Steph got going a little bit there. Let me refresh this so that we don't have to keep seeing the same thing. So at the half, Team USA took the lead. Right? Their defense, they locked in. Jason Tatum looked really good. Jason Tatum cut all of his hair off. How about that? He looks like 19-year-old Jason Tatum again. And him and Anthony Edwards off the bench were phenomenal. And I think that may be what we see. We may see a veteran lineup to start. Like, I know that Drew is, we don't really consider him one of the older players, but he's getting up there in age. He's one of the older players. We may see that, where it's like, hey, we'll let the vets, and I'm assuming that Kevin Durant's going to slot in for Drew when he comes back, because he is coming back, hopefully. I mean, obviously, but that's probably what we'll see. Okay, have the vets start, but midway through the first quarter, we're just going to bring in the young guys and wreak havoc, because a lot of these benches for these teams, like the international game, is a lot better. It is. I mean, the gap is closing. It definitely is. But the benches for some of these teams aren't fantastic. They're really not. So, again, could it be that they use this the whole time, where they go veterans to start and then other guys, younger guys off the bench? Yeah, that could be it. And honestly, I think that's a really good recipe for success. But again, I don't know what direction they're going to go. They could go in a different direction. I don't know. But right now, it's looking pretty good. Obviously, like I mentioned, Dylan Brooks had 8 points. Dylan Brooks at the half led Team Canada. That's all you got to say, which is crazy. But I digress. Jamal Murray has not looked good. 2 points on 1 of 6 shooting from the field. I'm just going through some of these things that have happened. Drew Holiday, there's a reason why he's in the starting lineup. There is. And Stephen Curry started to cook there in the first couple minutes of the second half. It's kind of weird having 10-minute halves, but again, it is what it is. But again, like I mentioned, pretty cool. Pretty cool to see Steph Curry cook next to LeBron James. And let me see if I can do something here. I'm going to try to right now. I'm going to... let's see what I can do here. I'm still here. Still here. Don't worry. Still here. I'm going to try to make sure that I can do overlay here. There we go. I'm figuring things out here. Don't worry. But now I'm using a new software, guys, so bear with me. So maybe I can just flash this on the screen while I'm up here. Yeah, I'll move this here. We'll figure it out. But anyways, Team USA is off to the races. It seems like they're starting to cook a little bit. And again, if you look at the box score, down by 7 in the first quarter, I think we're going to see a lot of this. And this is another one of my points. I think we're going to see them get out to slower starts. We're going to see, a lot of the guys, obviously the veterans, look a little bit worse to start, and then the young guys take over and just give that energy boost. I love that. I didn't even take that into account. I was like, oh, let's just put together the best starting 5. Honestly, the way they're doing it in this first game, I really like it. Because it's like, hey, our bench is probably one of the best rosters in the world, and that's our bench. So why don't we just bring that off with some energy, save the old guys' legs, because they will get tired. They will. Just see what happens. I actually like that theory. I never really did think of that. That's pretty cool. I wanted to touch on one thing. Let me see if I can find it here. I'm not seeing comments. If you guys are commenting on any of these, I'm not seeing them. Again, I'm using a new software. I'm trying to get better at this thing, so bear with me. I'm doing my best here. All you people that are streaming on X, you guys are the best. You guys have been so great to me. I'm really appreciative of that. And so if you do have comments, I'm not seeing them. Maybe if I switch over here, I can see them. But again, I'm not seeing anything. So maybe people are just watching, and that's okay. Thank you for watching. I'm going to see really quick if I can do this. I don't want a rectangle. Sorry, guys. All right. We are trying to do it, guys. Just hold on a minute. Got a lot of different things here. Show. I'm going to try to do here. Watch this. Oh, I'm cooking now. Excuse the green screen. Trying to figure things out here. We'll get it figured out. There we go. So I'm going to move this over here so you guys can still see me right there. Hopefully you can see me. I'm just going to go Safari so you guys can see what I'm looking at here, and you can also see me. Let me see if I can bring in some guests here. Why not us? So that we can have some commentary here. Let's see. I gotta go to interview on. See if I can bring in some people. Let me see here. Again, I apologize if things are a little bit wonky right now. I'm trying to figure it out. And yeah, so, all right, let's get this situated. How about this play? And I wish I could do. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out a way to play some of the stuff. Maybe I can't. Maybe I can. But LeBron had a. How about that? It was just such cinema. This is what a lot of Laker and Warrior fans have been wanting: is LeBron to Steph, back to LeBron for an alley-oop, and it happened. And that's the beauty of this Team USA thing. We're gonna see matchups that we usually don't get to see. And it's going to be pretty cool. I think it's going to be pretty cool because a lot of the times you won't get to see Kevin Durant and Anthony Edwards share the court. You won't get to see Steph Curry and LeBron share the court, right? Those are some things that we thought we would be dreaming that we would ever see that on the same floor. And we're getting it. So that's going to be pretty freaking cool. Let me go down here. So another thing about Team USA that I wanted to mention is the coaching staff. Because if you talk to a Warriors fan is probably going to say, Steve Kerr, like, yeah, he's good, but like, sometimes he's really not that guy. And I don't get it. I love Steve Kerr. I think he's one of the best coaches of all time. But he's coaching this Team USA team. And it's hard to screw up the roster that he has. It really is. I mean, if you look at his roster, it's one of the best rosters ever in the history of anything. It's one of the best rosters in history. But, like we've all said and like we've all mentioned, Steve Kerr is not really liked by Warriors fans sometimes. And I don't know why I get a lot of Warriors content on my timeline, but I do, and I see what they say. Maybe it's just because I'm involved with basketball on X, but I get it all the time. Oh, Steve Kerr is such an idiot for doing this. He's such an... And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute. You're bashing one of the best coaches of all time. I know that he had Draymond Green. I know that he had Kevin Durant. I know that he had all these guys. But he's still one of the best of all time. That's like criticize, and I know that Spurs fans probably criticize Greg Popovich too, for whatever reason, dude. Like, they really do. And look, Clipper fans criticize Ty Lue all the time. They do. Ty Lue makes some decisions that are questionable sometimes. I will say that. But again, these are some of the best coaches the game has to offer. I guarantee you, if I go into the Miami Heat subreddit, if I go into the Miami Heat, I don't know, Twitter space, Twitter community, whatever you say, they're probably bashing Eric Spoelstra at times too. Every single coach, even the good ones, gets bashed. Michael Malone, I've seen it. I've seen Nuggets fans be like, what is Michael Malone doing? What? Michael Malone's one of the best coaches in the league. And people, and I get it. I do get it because Steve Kerr is one of the best coaches in the league. But there are some questionable things that he does. Like, he was playing players that he really shouldn't have. And maybe he'll do the same on Team USA. But I'm just going based off of his reputation, what kind of guy he is, what kind of coach he is. He's one of the best coaches of all time, man. It's hard to screw up this roster. And if we're looking at other teams, like Eric Spoelstra's on the staff, a lot of people were clamoring about Eric Spoelstra being the head coach of this Team USA team. I think that would have been fantastic. Eric Spoelstra, I think if you take a poll, I think players would agree that Eric Spoelstra is the best coach in the NBA. I mean, Joe Mazzulla's getting up there. Greg Popovich is up there. Steve Kerr is obviously up there. Ty Lue is up there. There's a lot of coaches up there in the best of the best. But I constantly see Warriors fans like, what is Steve Kerr doing? You got to get him out of here. I saw Warriors fans saying that Steve Kerr should be fired. What? And look, maybe I'm not seeing something because, look, I was one of the ones that said Paul George, we're okay with him leaving. And everyone was like, what are you talking about? He's an all-NBA player. Yeah, well, you didn't watch him on a daily basis. I did. So maybe it's the same thing. Maybe it's... And I saw a tweet, an X, I don't know what to say, a post, I guess, about... Somebody said that you know it's real when the fans that just had that player are talking bad about them, or they have something to say about him. And I was like, amen. Because that's exactly how it was with Paul George. The Sixer fans were like, what are you guys talking about? This guy's all NBA. He's better than Tobias Harris, which is a low bar, by the way. He's better than Tobias Harris. He's this, he's that. Oh my God, we're so much better. They are better. And then Clipper fans were like, sayonara, bye, see ya. It was just like such a stark difference between how Clipper fans saw him and how Sixer fan, the new team that's getting this player, sees them. And is it the same with coaches? Somebody let me know. Because it could be the same with coaches where it's like, we don't want Steve Kerr, get him out of here. And like, if, say, the Lakers signed him or something, like, oh my God, I can't believe we got Steve Kerr. Every team's fan base hates their coach at some point. That's my main point. Every single team in the NBA hates their coach at some point during the season or during the offseason. And I think Steve Kerr's going to do a good job with this Team USA squad. It's hard to screw up. It's hard to screw up, man. Let me go back to this. Too busy blabbering about coaches and stuff. How about Canada? Canada's doing it. I really like it. Canada's fighting, man. And Canada is one of the teams that I thought that the U.S. would have trouble with. Because Team USA, yes, they're stacked. But if you look at the players that Team Canada has, I mean, they have Kelly Olynyk. I know I started off with him. That's wild that I started off with Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk, SGA, Dort, Barrett, Brooks, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Trey Lyles. That is a damn good team. That's a playoff team in the NBA. For sure. Jamal Murray. A backcourt of SGA and Jamal Murray with Dylan Brooks, Dort, Kelly Olynyk. They had Zach Edey too, and Zach Edey's looking pretty good in Summer League. That's a stacked team. That would have been a playoff team, I think. So I think that Canada's probably the best suited to compete with Team USA. I know it's the first game, and I know it's probably going to be close because everyone's rusty and they're trying to get, a hold on things. But if these two teams match up in the Olympics, I don't know how the brackets work. I'm not going to pretend to know how the brackets work. But if they do, could be pretty close. Because you're going to have Germany, Serbia, you're going to have, all these different teams, France. These teams are pretty decent, man. Like they're not the same teams that we saw in 2020, and they're not the same teams that we saw in 2016. They're definitely not. So again, I'm not going to say that any of these teams are going to dethrone the US. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that this gap is closing a little bit. It is. So some of these teams, they will. Somebody said hello from France. Hi. On Twitch. Mem Pamal. I do know Paris. City of Lights, but I don't know City City of Darkness, and I'm not going to address that because that's probably something political, and I don't want to get into that. So thank you for watching, but I'm not going to address that. France has a good basketball team, though. Good luck in the Olympics. That's wild. But hey, at least I know that Twitch works. I'm not getting many comments, but again, it's fine. I like it. I have a lot of people watching right now, and I'm so glad that you guys are. I'm trying to do this every week, nightly throughout the week. Obviously, things come up, but again, try my best. And it looks like Steve Kerr is seeing that Bam and AD lineup is working pretty well because those two in the front court are menacing. Joel Embiid has not had a good showing today. But foul baiting, man. Gotta get away from that. Just have to. But let me go back here. So as I was saying, my main point here is that coaching, every team in the NBA is going to hate their coach at some point, and it's crazy. When you're looking at it from the outside, from an outside perspective, and you're saying, like, what? How could you believe that Steve Kerr's a bad coach? How could you believe that Eric Spoelstra is making the wrong decision? How could you believe that Greg Popovich is doing the wrong thing here? They make mistakes, but it's like all the time. I keep seeing this. What is Steve Kerr doing? Relax. What is Joe Mazzulla thinking? Let him cook. Like, it's okay. So this game, look, it's becoming a good game here. It is. Hate to say it. And Canada's battling, man. So, I just wanted to get on here. I'll probably end this a little bit soon, just because there's not a lot to talk about. I didn't want to talk about too much. Just want to get in here, talk about the Team USA showcase. I'll let everyone else watch the showcase. I'll probably do a live tomorrow or Friday recapping what happened in the showcase. I just wanted to address the Kawhi Leonard thing because that's a big, big issue. Kawhi Leonard, obviously, out for the Olympics. We don't know why. It's reported that it was just because they want him to prepare for the Clippers in the fall because he is their star. They don't have Paul George anymore, and they need somebody to open that new Intuit Dome. So maybe Steve Ballmer made the call. I'm not sure. But I will say that it is a little bit concerning because he said just 2 weeks ago we started to turn a corner. That's not really ideal because the season ended about 2.5 months ago, maybe more. So it's not ideal if you're a Clipper fan. But again, moving forward, he's healthy. He's going to get better. And I think he'll be healthy when the season starts in the fall, at least for training camp. I mean, it's 2 months away, right? Yeah, maybe 2.5 months away. So he has a lot of time to recover. For Team USA, it's a big hit because he was going to be one of their most versatile defenders, a great wing for them, a guy that's won a championship, 2 championships already, won 2 finals MVPs, a proven guy. So it always sucks to lose those guys, and especially Kevin Durant too. They need Kevin Durant back. A scorer like that, they need length. And I know that they started a very small lineup, but having Kawhi Leonard out of this throws a wrench into things. And they have a lot of guys to supplement for it. Tatum can probably slot into that spot that Kawhi Leonard was going to have. That's okay. Derek White's going to be a great connector piece. I don't think that Derek White is going to play that much. He is replacing Kawhi Leonard, but I don't think that he's going to be that useful. Maybe you'll see him in spurts here and there with like a smaller, longer defensive lineup. Maybe that's what they go with. But as of now, I think that it's just, hey, Kawhi Leonard's out, Kevin Durant's out, next man up. They have so many players. Devin Booker, Halliburton, and Edwards, Adebayo. We could see a huge lineup of like LeBron, Adebayo, AD, KD, like LeBron at point. Like there's so many opportunities, and I'm so excited to watch these Olympics and how it plays out because I think Team USA is going to win gold medal, but those games are going to be competitive. The international teams are getting better. They're going to give Team USA a little bit of competition. I promise you. It's not going to be like years past. Will Team USA win the gold? Yes, I do believe that. They're stacked. They have the basketball Avengers. But it's not going to be the same as we've seen in years past where it's 30-point blowouts, 20-point blowouts. These teams are pretty good, man. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a quick live. I know it's quick. It's been like 40 minutes. From Money Mo Media. I'm going to have clips up on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Make sure you follow at Money Mo Media on YouTube, at Money Mo Media TV on TikTok. I'm going to have a whole bunch of shorts, so if you want to look at clips from this and from my previous lives, they will all be there. I'm so grateful for everyone that watched tonight. It was a quick one, a few topics. I will be back later in the week. You guys are the best, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching.